Okay, we're talking about tomato staking. The question is often, what do I do with a student or a child, right? A kid that doesn't respond to like anything. Um, they're disrespectful or they don't respond to, like, I'll tell them, I'll correct them, and that makes a worse thyroid. And so this is a very strong-willed child. This is very hard to control, really thinks that they're in charge, really is pretty sure that they're the smartest person in the room. This is difficult. And so this usually happens between 6 and 12 with a lot of boys, and then some girls, if they're just strong-willed, it's kind of from birth. So if you have a child that you love very, very much, but maybe you don't like them that much because they're the antagonist in the situation. They're the one, if you have 7 kids, the fights are always between this child and everybody else. It's never between another pair, another couple. It's this one child, and you can pinpoint it and you say, what all the problems come from this one kid. What can I do? And sending them to the corner, giving consequences, discipline, any kind of measures that you've taken, grounding, taking things away, just kind of almost fuels them because they did not give you permission to take those things away. They really are angry about this. You're not going to really be able to change their heart. That's up to the Lord and you, but you can change their action. And so the way to change their action is to create a new habit in them. And so you have to make something that's constantly long enough, consistent enough to make them not want to do it again. And it's got to be long term. So this is called tomato staking. Tomato staking refers to whenever you have a tomato plant, you put a stake next to it, or you might put a cage around it, because when it grows, it's nice and, it grows really fast, but then by the time it gets the fruit, it gets heavy and it'll plop over onto the ground and the fruit will touch the ground and then rot. So the tomato staking, you're the stake. You're the piece of strong wood that is in the ground next to the plant, and your child is the tomato plant. And so as they grow, they get really big really fast. They have lots of big ideas, but their fruit is going to be rotten. And so you need to stake them to you and tie them to you. And so this is the idea of training them. You keep the tomato staked for a very long time to help train it to grow straight. So this means, in a physical world with actually humans and not tomato plants, is you keep your child with you. That's it. That's the rule. It's terrible. So with us, the child that received the most tomato staking disliked it so much. They want freedom. They want choices. They want to do whatever they want to do when they want to do it. So whenever I say, "Oh, you're going to be my tomato," they knew. And I did it with any one of them that needed a specific correction. But this one got it the most, really disliked it. And so they would be with me all the time. So if I'm washing the dishes, they're standing right next to me. They have to be able to touch me, and I have to be able to touch them at all times. Even when I went to the bathroom, I would make them put their fingers underneath the door so that I could see, and I could touch their fingers with my toe or whatever it is, depending on how your bathroom is set up. But sometimes I'd have them hold a string, and the string was about this long. So if they needed to be that far away from me, then I could let them be that far away from me, or tie it to my apron hem or the bottom of my shirt or whatever it is, so they could be that far away from me. But that was it. Always within earshot, definitely always within visual ability. This decreased their chance to antagonize others by pretty much 100%. Not always. They still were able to cause problems, but I wasn't going to let it go. So 24 hours a day, from the moment they wake up to the moment they go to sleep, and sometimes even in between, if this person was waking up and causing problems and causing mischief in the night, then I would have them sleep with me or next to me or on a little pallet on the floor next to me, so I could wake up when they woke up. At the beginning, they hated it, and then as the hours and days would go on, then they started enjoying it. They liked the attention. So sometimes it would take a full day. Other times it would take days and days. And you'll know when you're done with the tomato staking for that portion. You'll see that part of the rebellion, that part of the problem, meld off. They will bow. You're not breaking their spirit. You're just breaking their will, like their will to defy you. Because you are willing to be more stubborn, more consistent, more enduring than they are in their disobedience. And so it's a very calm way to have a discipline, have a consequence. It's not violent or aggressive or anything. You're just going to hang out with me all the time until you get strong enough. You gain your own strength, you gain your own way to know without me telling you constantly and correcting you constantly how to act. And so you can get away from me and not be my tomato at that point. It's completely subjective. It's not objective. They don't like that at all. It builds your relationship, and it also helps you to see them in a different light because they're with you constantly. So you can see their thought process. There's going to be lots of crying and tears. There's lots of frustration, but you're very calmly saying, yeah, I know, but this is how much I love you. I'm going to give you literally 100% of my time and energy. It is a big pain in the rear, especially if you're nursing a baby, or, if you have to go somewhere, they have to go with you. They have to. There are no breaks in tomato staking. So if you're at the point where nothing else has worked and you're looking for a solution, please recognize this is not a long-term solution. You're not changing the child's heart, but you are changing the short-term actions so that some of that training will hopefully give you a chance to build relationship to allow the heart to change. And remember that, good behavior is not from your children is not based on your excellent parenting. The child is choosing to behave well for whatever reason, from relationship, because of consequences, because of benefits. And then when the child chooses to behave poorly, free will. So just like I can't, nobody wants to take credit for their children's poor behavior. We also don't get to take credit for our children's good behavior. It's their choice every time, and it's our choice to give consequences or allow natural consequences based on what we see as good and bad. Sometimes it just takes a talk. Other times it takes, some sort of physical reminder of some sort, from removing privileges to giving, physical habits, as far as like we'd have our kids do chores that were out of the ordinary. Just like dusting the logs on the outside of the log cabin. It needs to be done, but nobody wants to do it. And so this is a chore that was reserved for people that needed maybe a little bit extra activity in their life to kind of work out some of that aggression or some of that frustration that they may have. Give them some time to think while doing something physical. So these are all ideas. The main idea is tomato staking. I hope that helps you, and it's useful to you. And I would love to hear back from you if you saw some good results from, I don't even know where I heard this, one of my mentors. I can't even tell you which one. So listen to the ones that are above you, and then pass on the things that work to those who are coming behind you.